Hello everyone, it's Silvia from Fairlight Tarot. Welcome to my channel. Join me today for a really big haul. We've got tarot decks, we got oracle decks, we got other really cool stuff. Okay, so first I wanted to show you this independently produced tarot deck. This is the really beautiful Tarot of Persephone's Garden. This is, as I said, it's an indie deck, and it's by, I know her name, there you go, it's Kara Small, but she has an Instagram account, and through the Instagram account you can also go to her shop. I honestly don't know if this is still for sale or not. It may be out of print. I know that one of my members reached out to me and saying that there were still a few copies left of this deck on stock, but I also know that afterwards Kara ran out of stock. I think that there's going to be a reprint. I'm not entirely sure, but as I said, I'm just going to put the link to her shop in the description box below, just in case you guys want to check it out for yourself. This is a really beautiful deck. It's a tarot deck. If you like this kind of art style, I'm sure 100% you already know this deck because it is rather famous. You would have probably seen it on Instagram or, on other YouTube channels. So Tarot of Persephone's Garden, Kara Small, and there's an ode to Persephone. That's really nice. By the way, the cardstock is fantastic. So it's this really beautiful linen front and back. These are the backs, which are absolutely gorgeous. I really love the richness in the colors. They're just really beautiful. So I have been using this deck. I've had it in my collection perhaps for a couple of weeks. Let me just zoom in. So we're actually going to have a proper look at the cards. This is really beautiful Renaissance style curated art. And I have to say this, oh, look at this Judgment card. Isn't it just absolutely stunning? I always kick myself because I missed out on the Tarot of Delphi, and which I would have really loved. But I have to say, this one really does the trick. I mean, it really covers that spot. And it's really gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. I love the way in which the art has been chosen to represent the specific cards. It is not just a beautiful deck, but I have to say, after using it for a couple of weeks, look at the Ace of Coins. This is just perfect. That sense of nurturing, but abundance as well, ripeness, representing nature, is just perfect. Or, the Hermit card has been renamed Solitude here. But it's so intense, it's very powerful, and I really like the fact that obviously this is curated art, so it has been chosen, but it's not that easy if you think about it, because you really need to find that particular image that corresponds to the meaning of the card, like the Nine of Swords in this case. That is perfect for me. And I have to say, all of these cards really express the you can see here, for example, even the alchemical element. So obviously the Ace of Wands is referring to the alchemical element of fire, but I love that there's the heart here. So I think that Kara did an excellent job in choosing these images. Temperance, that is amazing. So I'm so very happy that I've got this deck because, as I said, I missed out on the Tarot Delphi, which I would have really loved, but I know that now it goes for kind of, ridiculous amount of money. I have seen people asking for $1,500 for a deck, which is, fair enough. I always say this, if there's someone willing to pay that much money for a deck, it means that it's valuable to them. The problem is that I wouldn't allow myself to spend that much money on the Tarot Delphi. So I knew that I definitely missed out. But now it doesn't bother me anymore. I feel like this is covering exactly the same space. I love it. It's borderless, which is my preference. It's a fantastic cardstock. It shuffles like a charm, it feels like a charm, it reads really, really well. And this is one of those decks that you can very much enjoy on itself, but you can also pair it up with Oracle decks. I'm really happy about this deck, and as I said, I really can't get over how beautiful these backs are. Just absolutely gorgeous. So this is the Tarot of Persephone's Garden. And then I wanted to show you another deck. This is an Oracle deck that I recently got out of Rockpool. And I want to show you how cool this deck is. So this is called the Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle. And it's, as I said, published by Rockpool, and it's by Ellie Grant. I just absolutely love this deck, and I can assure you. So let me just make a reference here. I don't know if you remember, but perhaps a couple of years ago, Rockpool published another alien-centered or alien-themed Oracle deck. I think it was called the Mystic Alien Oracle. And I did have it, I owned it for a short period of time. When I got it, I actually received a copy. When I got it, I liked it. I really loved the artwork, but I couldn't really resonate with the keywords. They were not necessarily keywords, they were rather titles. And it just didn't work for me. But ever since then, I really wanted a deck that would have had similar vibes, especially because I think that this one, and you'll see what I mean, pairs up really, really well with the Zix Arcana. And if you don't have the Zix Arcana, because I just don't, I prefer a more scenic kind of suit minors, and some minors of that deck are scenic, but for example, the Suit of Wands is very pippish, and I prefer another deck, and that's why I backed the Starborn Arcana, which is a Kickstarter campaign for a couple of months ago. That was very similar to the Zix Arcana, and but it's got really fully scenic minors. So this deck will pair up really well with the Zix Arcana, with the Starborn Arcana, or also with the Desert Illuminations Tarot, because it does have that kind of alien and cowboy, or let's say, you know, the southern states of the United States kind of vibes. And I just absolutely love it. It's very empowering. It is, I have to say, it's not very balanced in the sense that it's very feminine. It's got a lot of really strong feminine energy, which I love. But generally speaking, I would prefer to have a more balanced deck. I would love to see a deck like this, you know, with cowboys and cowgirls and aliens, and not just cowgirls. I absolutely love the idea. I think it's wonderful, and the execution is just perfect. I mean, these cards are so beautiful. I mean, look at this one. This is the Time Traveler. And what I like about it is not just the combination between the artwork and the colors. And by the way, the pink, the purple, and the green is just so nice. But it's also the fact that it's got, each and every card has got a sentence at the bottom. So for the Time Traveler, we see, I will embrace adventure and begin something new, which is, you know, I'm all for it, because that's my slogan, that's my motto. So there's also the AI, which is, I know everyone is probably clutching their pearls right now because there is so many there's so many discussion about art created with the help, or, you know, 100% AI generated. And I personally had my own experience in which at the beginning I was very curious about it. Then I heard the artist's side saying that, you know, their work was just not acknowledged, and sometimes it was also stolen or at least sampled, and sometimes, you know, there's a limit to what you can call art, and all of that. I think that it really still needs to be defined. But I love the fact that there is an AI card in this oracle. And this one, and I love what it says. So at the bottom here, it says, I will be open to change and embrace a new perspective. And I love that it looks, and it's called the AI. So I love that it looks at it in this way, because on the one hand, it tells you to be open-minded And on the other hand, it tells you to embrace the possibility that there might be new perspective and new ways to produce art in the future. So what I think that we need right now, it's a very good set of laws, rules to follow. Obviously, when you monetize your artwork, if it's AI generated, you might have to specify that. There's already a number of websites that ask you to put a label just saying that the artwork has been generated with AI. Or for example, even on Kickstarter campaigns, you'll see there's a lot of artists explaining their process, saying, look, I have done everything myself. 90% of it is done by myself, but I just used AI to correct a few things. So there's a number of ways in which we can use AI in an artistic production. But I still believe that we need a clear set of guidelines, a set of laws that, at least we make an informed decision whenever we buy an artwork. But I love the fact that it's asking people to be open-minded. The cyborg, that's so beautiful. I love this card, the shapeshifter. How cool is this card? I will get to know my true self and be comfortable with who I am. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the scientist as well. It gives a lot of King of Swords kind of vibes. The navigator, the android, the mutant, absolutely really powerful concept about all of these eyes coming out of the skin. I know that if you have a thing for eyes, then please skip ahead. I know that sometimes it's a bit triggering, but the concept is amazing because you don't only see through your own eyes, but you actually perceive things through your skin. It's just great. I love it. Or the space pirate, having a good time. Really, really, the hacker or the telepath. I love the telepath too. I am compassionate and will show others understanding and respect. Funnily enough, I was with in a video chat with two of my members yesterday morning, and I showed them this deck, and I actually pulled this card. It's really like, well, I really want to. This is going to be what I believe in, what I want to be. So that's great. The engineer. So I love this deck, and I think it would pair up really well with, as I said, the Zix Arcana, the Starborn Arcana. By the way, the edging is holographic. It's really, really beautiful. And these are the bags, just in case I forgot to show them earlier. And it's just a really nice deck. I mean, it's a mass market deck. It's a very affordable deck. It's cute, it's nice, it's funny, it's a conversation starter. But guess what? It actually is rather deep. And this will pair up really nicely with the Tarot Bot as well, the Desert Illumination, as I said, the Zix Arcana, the Starborn Arcana. We also paired it up with the Neo Moon, but it's not really the perfect match, but still can be used. So I highly recommend it if you want to have fun, but also if you have, if you just go with your friends to a party and you want to have some fun and pulling a card and just talking about the archetypes that you see here, this is a great deck to do so. So I really love it. I love what they've done with it. And now we are going to have a look at a deck that is 100% new, and I haven't seen it around, probably because it was just released on the 3rd of July. I was lucky enough to get the copy on the 3rd of July itself. It was just sent by Amazon Express, basically. And I am pleased to say it's been released. It's Lammas. So we got Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle. You will remember just recently they released Lita, and Lita was just really, really gorgeous. And now we've got Lammas, and I'm really curious because I can already see that they kept the same artist, so Tihana Lukovic, but also the same two creators, Lorianne Anderson and Juliet Diaz. So I'm very excited. It looks like the gold the gilding is gold, I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. I think that gold was already used a couple of times. I think they used gold gilding in Beltane. I could be wrong. But without much further ado, let's just open this deck and see, because I haven't even seen it yet. I have not seen it anywhere. So it's a first, 100% first. So as always, they are keeping it very, very consistent. So it's the two-part box. It's got the same kind of layout. Even the font is the same, which I really appreciate. If you're like me, have a little bit of OCD, you will like this because the whole series of these decks look really nice when you put them all together. When it comes to the guidebook, I expect there not to be any kind of changes. And as a matter of fact, it looks very similar to all of the other ones. And let me say, these are really nice because you see there's a small thumbprint of the image. There's obviously, you have the title, you have the keywords as well. And then you have a little bit of a description of the card, which is always nice. Self-forgiveness practice, which is always helpful if you want to do your journaling, for example. I love the fact that there's these borders as decoration, but there's also a little bit of the theme of the deck at the bottom. So it's always nice. I think they found the right formula, and now they're just replicating that. And there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, as I said, I personally prefer consistency when it's a series, when it's a number of decks that are supposed to represent the whole year. For example, the Sabbats, the wheel of the year. So if it had been completely different one from the other, that would have been not very nice, to me at least. I know that there's obviously there's beauty in variety. I'm not saying the opposite, but when it comes to decks that follow a theme, I really do prefer them to be like this. I love this back with the green and the yellow of the flower. So let's have a look at the deck. As always, they always put the you know, they invite you to download the Rockpool app, which is free. I can attest that it's free. But if you look at the feedbacks on the app, they're actually very negative. And I don't know whether it's because it doesn't really work or if there's something else going on. So I am pleased to say it's not gold, but it's a kind of a green, acid green kind of gilding. Goldish. I would say it's halfway between gold and green kind of gilding. There you go. It took me a while, but I finally found a way to describe this color. Please bear with me. I didn't sleep much last night. I was woken up by my cats at 4:21 a.m. and then I just couldn't go back to bed because I had to wake up really early to go to the Dark Moon Expo. But as a matter of fact, 90% of what I'm going to show you today has been purchased by myself at the Dark Moon Expo in Sydney, which is an amazing expo, which is generally held in Melbourne, but this time they just decided to be graceful and come to Sydney as well. And it's very similar for you guys in the US. It's very similar to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo, which has come to Australia last year as well. And it was absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness, look at the citrine card. That's so beautiful. And so 90% of the stuff that I bought today comes from there, from the Dark Moon Expo. But I bought a ticket to go really early there. Like as soon as they opened the doors, I just went in because when I went to the Dark Moon at the Oddities and Curiosities in Sydney last December, I got there at 11:30 in the morning and everything was gone. So I did not want that to happen again, and so I made sure to be there really bright and early. And I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I spoke to a lot of vendors. I took a lot of videos, so I'm going to show you the highlights of the expo, because I really believe in promoting local businesses. These are all Australian businesses. Some of them were coming over from Melbourne. Some of them are from Sydney. I have to say that most of the time, there's a lot more, when it comes to these kind of things, Melbourne has got a better scene. Let's put it this way. Sydney doesn't seem to be catching up. I don't know why. But, you know, the fact that they are starting to do these expos, it's a good sign. So it's always good to praise when someone is doing a good thing because you want them to do it again. That's called conditioning. Vegetable garden. It's time to check in with and reflect on the seeds you have planted. Wow. Sorry, I should have been talking more about the cards. By the way, these are the backs. I really love them, and I love the consistency again because we still see the moon here. It's just different color. And weeds, oh, that's very powerful. Neglecting to address the weeds within will prevent you from abundantly receiving. That's amazing. See, I love how balanced these decks are because I really find, sorry, this one is turn. So I really find that when they started, and I don't know if you remember, it was a couple of years ago, the very first one they released was the Samhain edition, and it was really dark. It was really, really dark. And I understand that because, of course, it was referring back to Samhain, but at the same time, Samhain is also a time to celebrate because you can go beyond the veil and you have access to the messages from your ancestors. It's really a wonderful time of the year. It is very intense. It's not the time to celebrate by laughing, perhaps, but it is the time to celebrate nonetheless. But I find that that oracle is very dark and doesn't really have any kind of balance. There's no lightness, and I would have preferred that to be at least, the acknowledgement that you can, you basically have this kind of opportunity, and that only comes during Samhain, and so why not celebrating? But I get it. I completely get the dark vibes, and personally, I love the dark vibes. So but I would have loved some kind of balance. And I have to say that every other deck scenes, with the exception perhaps of Beltane, they're all very balanced. So they're not either 100% light, not 100% darkness, and I really appreciate that. But this is first impressions. I think it's very balanced. It's a very beautiful deck. I really appreciate the consistency, and I know that a lot of you have requested that I repeat the video or that I complete the video. So I think it was a year ago, I posted a video with almost all of these decks. I had 4 or 5 of the seasons. And so I showed what I call my continuity spread because it's the wheel of the year. So the wheel is implying continuity in the cycle of life. So what I'll do now that I've got Lammas as well, and I think that we're only missing Ostara. I could be wrong, but I think that we've got everything but Ostara, which is probably going to come out in a few months as well. So I'm going to show you my continuity spread in in a video in a couple of weeks or something like that. And so we'll have a look at how to incorporate and use all of these decks from the Seasons of the Witch Oracles into the continuity spread. It's actually really, really cool. So that was another deck, as we said. Okay, so I just had an idea because I was looking at the oracle and I was thinking I had the Tarot Persephone's Guardian on the side. I was like, you know what? I actually want to try these two together. So this is completely out of the blue, complete improv. So we'll never know. It might not work. It might work. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, I do have a lot of decks that I like to pair with the all of the Seasons of the Witch Oracles. For example, one really beautiful one is the Gentle Tarot, and there's others. Even the Solar Occulto, for example. But I have to say, I actually like these two together. I feel that we're onto something. What do you think? Let me know. Very strong energies coming from both these decks, very beautiful energies. There's a lot of characters, obviously. There's a lot of directionality that you can read. If you read directionality, this is amazing because it will give you the possibility to do so. I love this card, the Sunflower. Follow your bliss and watch as the things that are meant for you come home to you. Wow, that is amazing. Between the Two of Wands and the Four of Wands, my goodness, how powerful is this? It's just literally the moment in which you start thinking that your world is too small for you and that you need to break down the boundaries that are around you. And it's like, yes, it's okay. Everything at its own time, it will come to you. Don't worry, just follow your bliss. And then the celebration of the bliss that literally comes to you, like in this case. I love these two together. I mean, we might not have 100% matching art style. Obviously, we're talking about different styles, different kind of media as well. But I feel that sometimes two decks need to have, if the aesthetics are perfectly matching, but the vibes are not, there's not much you can do. I really love this. Prayers to the earth. Become present with the blessings you already have. Make gratitude fill your heart. Between the sun and the 5 of coins, and it's almost as if we were telling this person not to, don't despair too much. Don't feel like you've lost everything. And right now it might feel this way. But if you focus on what's in the right now, and count your blessings, basically, you already have so many things, and you can be grateful for that. And that's when you turn everything and you achieve, the clarity of vision and the happiness of the sun. Really, really enjoying these two. I would have never thought that I would have liked these two together this much, but I think that we're really onto something here. Let me see, just another one. Let's see. I like that they also have the cards for the zodiac sign. So we've got Lion. Take a deep breath and remember that peace of mind is the key to navigating your current challenges. Okay, peace of mind is the key to navigating your current challenges. So take a deep breath. Between the Priestess of Cups and the Three of Cups. Wow, that's really powerful as well, because we got this, again, the 2 elements of water, so obviously referring back to the feeling. So it may become overwhelming sometimes. It's also because when we look at the evolution of the core cards of the cups, we start from the apprentices, and we develop and we understand how to master our own feelings, but that doesn't happen until the king, up to the king, or even the queen. And so there is this sense of being overwhelmed sometimes, but if we take a deep breath, just reach out for that peace of mind, and we can get through this together with others, for example. Really, really loving these ones together. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. So again, let's move to another deck. Okay, so I've got 2 decks here that I've got from Lovecraft Industries. And so for each and every one of these, by the way, that's a holographic foil and it's very nice. For each and every one of these, I would just make sure to put the the link in the description box below, just in case you want to check them out. I don't know personally any of them. I just literally met them at the Dark Moon Expo this morning. And some of them were from Sydney, some of them from Melbourne. I know that some of them, because I actually asked them, they ship internationally. Some of them did not know if they could do that or not. It depends on where you live, because in some cases, when we talk about, for example, bones or things that may incur in custom charges, or even they may be confiscated at customs, that is very difficult to understand how the international laws play a factor in, in shipping out these artifacts. But in any case, when it comes to decks, it's never a problem. So these two, one is the, this one, I'm just going to show you, because I cannot say the name, otherwise I will be censored, and I don't want to be cancelled. So this is this one here, as you can see. So I'm pretty sure you all know this deck. It is very strong, very powerful. There's a lot of cards that I cannot necessarily read out loud, practically 90% of them, but I absolutely love this deck. So it's it was the last one, so I got it with a really good discount, so I'm quite happy about it. And I just, oh, by the way, this is the inside, and I don't know if you can tell, but there is foiling, glass foiling at the bottom of the box as well, and it looks like it's a labyrinth, and in the middle of it, there's a skull. So I just absolutely love the details in these things. when it comes to these decks. So I'm just not going to read out loud the cards. I am going to show them to you, but you probably know this deck already. It's rather famous. It's an indie deck. It has been well, let's say it's been distributed pretty much worldwide. I believe that we did have a reseller here in Australia. I don't know if they sell it anymore. I don't even know if this deck is in print anymore. The person I was speaking to was saying that that was the last deck that they have. So, but as you can see, and I'm not going to read any of this out loud, but as you can see, there's some pretty amazing cards like the Surfing Chimp, like this one here. And there's some really, really odd cards as well. And yet, I believe that all of the, I'm not going to read this out loud, but you see what I mean? It's a very direct kind of deck, and you need to have a certain sense of humor as well to in order to be able to work with this deck, because obviously it's a lot to take, and you know, if you don't like a certain type of you know, vocabulary, obviously this is not the deck for you. I personally actually very enjoy it. I think it's very spot on many of these cards. I really love, I mean, okay, this one I can read it out loud. Look at this card. This is a coffin and it's full of snakes, and there are so many, it's overwhelming. They're just, you know, overboarding. But it's not just snakes. That's the thing. If you focus on the details, you will see that between the snakes, there's tacos. And your mind goes, why would there be tacos? And you read the card and it says the coffin full of tacos, full of snakes. So it's basically a coffin that has some tacos inside, and the tacos have snakes inside of them. Isn't it just absolutely? I mean, it could. I think it could go either way. You can either hate. You can either hate this deck or you can absolutely love it. And in my case, I just think it's very funny, it's whimsical, it's hilarious. Yes, it's definitely making fun of everyone. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's irreverent, it's outrageous. Is it worthy of being censored and cancelled? I don't think so. I mean, after all, we are all of these things. There's no two ways around that, whether we can talk about it or not. But look at this one, for example, the false face. I think it's a very strong card, and I like that. Shrimp and guns, you know, that's what you do. The feral nerd, the queen of holes. Or, you know, an old man pouring water on an eyeball. Yeah, because why not? I cannot wait to actually read with this deck, because it is something that really, you know, as I said, you either love it or you hate it, and I can't wait to see where this deck is going to take me. So I said the title before, I cannot pronounce it, otherwise I will be punished. But you probably all seen this deck, so it's there. And now we're going to open a completely new deck. It's still coming with a wrap, but I got from the same vendor. So this one, Lovecraft Industries. And this one, I've actually never seen it before. It's called the Devil's Deck, a tool for satanic enlightenment, created by Shiva Honey, illustration by Alexander Corey, Lucienne Greaves, and Shiva Honey. It's not a huge deck, which is fine, but so there was a sample that was open and I had a look at it. So it comes with 30 gold foil cards. So 30, to be honest with you, it's very little. I definitely, even, you know, I always bash Los Carabeo for releasing decks with 32, 33 cards. So obviously 30 is even worse. I believe that this is an independently produced deck. I would have loved it for it to be at least 44 cards, but, you know, if you can't have it, I mean, let's have a look. I might really like it anyway. So you never know. It's got some gold spot on the box as well, as you can see. And it's a 2-part box, very nice. It comes with a guidebook, which I'm really, really happy about, even though I had a quick look at the cards at the expo and I thought that the keywords were very, very straightforward as well. So it tells you how to use it, reading tips. And okay, well, it goes straight to the card. So there's a satanic insight and recommend the ritual. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, we don't have a ton of stuff, description when it comes to the cards, but I really wanted to show you the cards because they are actually very, very beautiful. So let me just open this. And by the way, you are the magic. This is at the bottom of the box. Really beautiful. They are gilded, but it's a matte gilding and it looks like it's really high quality. So I'm quite happy about that as well. And there is foil, gold foil on the backs as well. They're not reversible, as you can see, but it doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, I don't read reversals when it comes to oracle cards anyway. And this is my favorite cardstock. It's the one, when you do like this and you hear the sound, it's such a nice whispering sound. I really love it. It's got a very soft touch to it. The tactile feel is very pleasant. It's a bit papery, but it's very sturdy as well, as you can see. So this is one of those decks that you can easily take with you in your bag if you want to, or you can use for a lot of readings. Finding Your Flame. Nice. Unbound from Lost Love. So it's obviously very symbolical because it is Peepish. It is a very Peepish deck, but I actually really like the symbols. I really appreciate this kind of, there is a sense of Art Deco style in the frame, for example, not so much so in the in the images in the center. Memento Mori, Inflammo. This is okay, so there's a few Latin words. Inflammo is Latin for I set fire, so I set something on fire. Blocked. Wow, look at this one, Group Ritual. That's really cool. That's actually kind of whimsical. Love this card. Solo Ritual, okay. Cool Cat. Dark Goddess. That's such a beautiful... That's really beautiful drawing. Forgiveness, wow. Generosity. It's amazing. Anger. Strength. Creation. Some of the cards are sticking one to the other, but it's probably because it was completely new. I haven't opened it yet. Creation. Feral. Justice. Beautiful. More magic. Knowledge. Sacred Rest. Wow. Oh, I love this card. And Self-Care. That's a really... Oh, is there another card here? Yes. Self-Care and Confidence. It's a really beautiful deck. I really like it. Yeah, I'm quite happy that I found it. I had never seen it before, completely independent, never even heard about it, but I actually I appreciate the fact that on the one hand I have a deck that nobody else has, but I also appreciate the fact that I can support a local business. Of course, when it comes to tarot and oracle decks, I really, I obviously that's what I do as well. So it's part of my community, and so I like to show some support. So this is the Devil's Deck, a tool for satanic enlightenment, as we said. And now I'm going to show you a lot of really cool things that I bought at the Dark Moon Expo. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now comes from this shop, which is the E&M Ceramics. I have to say, the ladies, this is all handmade in Country Victoria. I have to say, I love every single piece that they were selling. Even the ones that were not selling, that were just on display. I wanted to buy everything, but it would not have been possible because I couldn't afford to buy everything. They had a lot of stuff. but I went back 3 times and I was just amazed at what they had. The really beautiful, but also very, you could tell that there was so much intention in everything that they created. It was handmade, but it takes a lot of spirit to do some things, and also humor sometimes. So, and I got a couple of things. So this one here, it's really cute, and it's here skull mug. Skull nuggets, absolutely love it. And as you can see, it's like it's a jar for a potion. As I said, completely handmade, but also the way in which they thought about everything, the way in which they organized it. There's different shapes, of course. There's also mugs. So it's actually really, really cool. And what else have I got? So I got this one because I just could not resist. There were a few skulls, and you guys know that I absolutely love skulls. So whenever I see them, I have to have them. And so let's see if I can get it out. Yes, I mean, look at this one. Look how beautiful. Look at how cool is this? I don't even know what I'm going to use it for, but I just absolutely love it. It's very heavy. It's just amazing. I love this so much. I'm probably going to use it to put my rings, when I take them out or something like this, for example. I'm just going to do like that. I just really, really love this one. Immediately, I picked it up. I think it was the last one with the skulls. There were other saucer small plates like this, but it was the last one with all of these skulls. So I'm quite happy that I got it. And then when I got back, because I kept my eye on this one, and I just had to go back because I wasn't sure I really wanted it. But when something calls to you and you think that, it means something. It means that it's calling to you because it's coming to you for a reason. And so you have to have it. Okay, so here it is. I mean, how cool is this? This is another jar, as you can see, really beautiful colors. Again, I repeat, all of this has been handmade. So obviously there's a lot of care, a lot of skills that go into these kind of things. It's very heavy. You can tell material is very high quality. And this is the lid, and I just absolutely love it. And so it closes down like this. And it looks, on the one hand, it looks like one of those old potion kind of jars, but it's just absolutely cute. I really like it. I think it's adorable. So it's actually going to stay here with me on the side, even though you can't see it. But I'm really happy about everything that I got from these ladies. As I said, the E and M Ceramics. I mean, they have, as I said, trinkets of all kinds, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I feel like I want to go back and buy more stuff, but then, I don't have thousands and thousands to spend on things, but I was really, really happy to get that. And then I wanted to show you, so the shop that was there, and the vendor's name is Dina from That Creative Feeling. They have a fantastic Instagram account. I really highly recommend you check it out. You can scan it here if you want. I have to say, this is my kind of style. This is the kind of things that I really like. I am rather eclectic when it comes to these kind of things, so I like different art styles. It's just right now, probably because it's winter, I feel really attracted to really dark stuff. And when I got there, again, I wanted to buy everything that was on display. But these things are incredibly let's say that there's a lot of work that goes into any kind of Dina's creations, and as a consequence of that, we're not looking at something cheap, obviously, but we need to understand that there's a lot of skills that goes behind these creations. So I think that it's actually priced really fairly. But you can have a look at the Instagram account. So I got this one. This one may, okay, I may have to explain a couple of things here because I don't know if you can actually see. So do you see this? that I'm pointing out with my finger, this is an actual spider web. An actual a spider web that was, created by a spider. And with a very, very cool process. It has been frozen and crystallized onto like a cardboard, a black cardboard. And this is an actual butterfly. And I think this is, well, I don't remember what this is. I need to check that out with her. And this is obviously an antique frame. So there's so much skills, as I said, that goes into these kind of things. And they're absolutely beautiful. I have to say, this is what I could afford, but if you don't mind spending a bit more money, there were some really exciting things something that I've never seen before. Absolutely beautiful. She was showing, for example, she had a very old Shakespeare Sonnets book from 1935. And by a very complex kind of process, she had crystallized it. So basically, the book was open. Some of the pages were folded in two, and there were flowers in the middle. And basically, it stayed like that. It stayed almost as if it were frozen in time because it had been crystallized. And so it was covered with this substance that looked like frost, in the morning when you go out and you go for a walk and you go to a park and there's still some frost on the grass. That was exactly the same look, which is a very similar look to this one. And it looked absolutely amazing. I really would have wanted to get one of those, but it was just outside my price range. This wasn't, so I'm very happy that I could grab this. As I said, check it out because what she does, oh my goodness, the art style is absolutely amazing. That Creative Feeling by Dina. And I believe she lives in Melbourne, but she was in Sydney, so I was very happy. And she's the main reason why I actually went to the Dark Moon Expo, because I knew that she was coming to Sydney. Then something else that really caught my attention is this one. As you can see, this is the business card, and of course I loved it immediately, by Laura Jane. So Laura Jane illustration, and this is what I bought from her. And I have to say, many things that I wanted to buy, but I'm happy that at least I could get something, So she was saying that basically she goes to thrift stores and she buys a lot of these really antique frames, and then this is her artwork. So she basically buys the frame from a thrift store and then she paints something and she puts the image in the frame, and this is the result. And I have to say, this is really gorgeous. I mean, obviously you need to let's say have a certain type of taste in order to appreciate these things, and these are not for everyone, and I completely understand it. But I really like the dark vibes, and at the same time I appreciate the fact that it's something unique. There's something that is not just the fruit of maybe 10 minutes work and that's it. This is actually, there is a lot of work behind it, because she literally goes treasure hunting through various thrift stores in Sydney. There are a few. And then whenever she finds something, she starts creating, and there's a creative process behind the images as well. So I really, really appreciate that. And I really like this one. So as I said, this is her account on Instagram and TikTok, Laura Jane Illustration. And then I really wanted to find some candles, and there were a few, but I wasn't happy with what I could see. And so then I finally found this one, which is called Witchcraft Candles. And again, this is, I believe, the website and the Instagram account. And I got this one, which is a box with 4 candles. Let me just zoom out, because otherwise I don't think it will fit in the frame. So this is amazing. It's called the Meet Me at the Cemetery Candle Collection. And it's got 4 candles. And one is called Eternal Rest, Honor Thy Ancestors, Midnight Stroll, and Wilting Roses. I have to say, I absolutely love all of them. I didn't want to buy the whole set, but I really couldn't choose. And so I just decided to splurge and get all of them. So these are the candles, as I said, Hannah's Die, Ancestors, Eternal Rest, Midnight Stroll, Wilting Roses. I'm just going to open one to show you. This is a really nice glass. I believe it's, no, it's not glass, it's metal actually, sorry. But it's really nice, and as you can see inside, it's actually beautiful as well. The smell, I cannot, obviously you cannot smell it, but I can assure you it's absolutely fantastic. I really, really love them, and I love all of them. And so these would be ritual ceremony candles that I will use. So I'm quite happy with them. And next up, I found a really lovely lady that has some amazing jewelry. And I mean, amazing, absolutely amazing. And I'm still thinking I'm probably going to go back tomorrow and buy a necklace because I just absolutely love it. It's just at the moment that I was more attracted to the other two things that I bought. And so this is the business card, Lux Aquatica, Sea of Love. But so she explained to me that she has two websites. And so she was mentioning also this account, Jackie O Yes, which is, she said, has got some different kind of vibes. So this is more like a light work. And then the other account is for shadow work, or at least that's the way in which I understood that. But it is definitely very interesting, and I just absolutely love these two things that I got from her. So one is, of course, a ring, because you know me, I have to buy rings everywhere I go. And this is really interesting. I hope that I can show you. Let me see. Okay, it's this. So this is a Labradorite, as you can see in the stone that is used here. It has been chiseled, and this is an all-seeing eye. And then it's been encased into silver, and in here there's a another, let's say, it's been carved the letter I for I, myself, and C. So I see. And it's just really gorgeous. I mean, this is, wow. And you know me, I love rings. I'm a sucker for rings, so I had to have this one. There's also a lot of, so let me just show you. She does all these kind of things. This is a key ring that I really love. And also she has a collaboration with someone, sorry, I forgot the name, that makes all of these skulls, and then she uses these skulls in rings, for example, or necklaces, or even more key rings, etc. So it's absolutely beautiful. As I said, I highly recommend it. And again, from Sydney, I believe, Lux Aquatica or Jackie O, yes. Really, really love this ring. I just absolutely adore it. I mean, you know, it's just rings, me and rings. I know, right? I can't resist. I can't resist. And then I got something else that is super duper fun. So this is basically a business card stand with all of these skulls, as you can see, and it's absolutely my style. I really love it. And it came with the business card of the creator. This is quite heavy, by the way. So let me just put it down. So this is called Cast from Dungeon FX. Grant Biffin. This is the Instagram and the Facebook accounts. And yeah, that's what we've got. So obviously, when I saw this one, of course, I thought about business cards as well. But I think you know me. And I think you'll know that the first thing I thought about was a tarot card stand. And so I'm going to try and see if I can fit a card. Well, there you go. It fits perfect. Look at that. I mean, you can probably can't see the angle, but it's the perfect card stand. I mean, this is an oracle deck, so obviously, you know, it is slightly wider than a standard tarot size, but isn't it just absolutely fantastic? I really love it. I needed a card stand, and so now I've got it. Not just for business card, but, you know, for tarot and oracle cards as well. And it's full of skulls, so of course it's my jam. Okay, so that was it. As you can see, I spent quite a fair bit of money and I bought a lot of stuff, but I only do that for twice a year. And that's because we don't have a lot of these kind of expos in Sydney, unfortunately. I really enjoy going there. Believe me, the atmosphere is just simply amazing. There is so much kindness and compassion. There is also this sense of understanding that we all need, to be kind to each other, because we never know what the other person is going through. I was talking to a lot of the vendors, and everyone was agreeing in saying that there is this sense of community that is coming stronger and stronger. And perhaps in Melbourne has been going on for longer, but it's definitely taking shape in Sydney as well, which makes me really happy. And so, yeah, thank you so much for watching. That was it for today. Have a great day.